or it stays the same. If we stay the same, all the arguments that we've heard tonight will not be improved upon. And one example with regard to scrutiny.
A quick one, if you will.
Yeah, if you look at voting figures, Wales currently has about 1,650,000 voters. If you take the reduction of MPs, which could bring us down to 30, probably should be 26, but never mind, and we stay with 60 members, the MPs will administer or look after 66,000 constituents. The AMs on a current 60 will administer 27,500. That seems totally fair to me. The only criteria I would make is that the Assembly members, who when they scrutinise law-making powers, must have an attendance minimum in the Assembly itself.
Okay.
And then they then vote. We in Wales take the responsibility for the laws that we have passed.
Thank you. Now I know why you were shouting out. Let's get one more comment and let's come to this gentleman here.
Thank you. Well, Roger Lewis said earlier that if you voted no, you'd be going nowhere. Well, what if enough of us voted no? And what if there was an overwhelming on Thursday response to the no party, the no voters came up with and said, well, maybe it ought to follow on that the issue of a referendum on the abolishment of the WA, which was the one question we all asked you to put on paper, and no one's brave enough to put it on.
So let's just ask quickly, those who are clapping, are you clapping because you'd like to see the Assembly abolished? Yes. Now then, that's quite interesting, I would suggest.
And I assure you that they're not
Nathan
all
Gill,
supporters.
Doesn't that rather give away, perhaps, that many no voters don't just want things to stay as they are, they want things to move back?
Okay. Margaret, if you vote no on Thursday, the sun will still rise in the morning and it will still set in the evening, I assure you. We've been told that we've got to vote yes because it's positive for Wales. If you vote no, Leanne Wood, the Welsh nationalist, said that a no vote was, quote, a vote of no confidence in Wales. She got it wrong. It's a vote of no confidence in the Welsh Assembly government.
Yeah. Thank you, Nathan Gill. Carwyn Jones.
This is from a party that has an MEP elected on 4% of the vote, the electorate. The time, if you don't like what I'm doing,
12%.
Or, well, 4% of the electorate, it was a 30% turnout.
Let's get on to the referendum.
If you don't like what I'm doing, you can vote against me on the 5th of May. Right? Before devolution, you had no say at all in what I did. I could do whatever I wanted. John Redwood, David Hunt, you'd have had absolutely no democratic control over anything that I did. That's democracy. I'm more than prepared to defend and promote our record as a government since the 5th of May. Absolutely. But
thank you.
This is about making sure that Wales is treated in the same way as Northern Ireland and Scotland. You know, from UKIP's point of view, they like a Scottish Parliament. They don't like a Welsh Assembly. What have the people of Wales done to UKIP?
The debate goes on here in Blackwood. Plenty of hands up on the panel and in the audience, but I'm sorry, I have to say that is it. The campaigners have had, well, just about their final chance to influence you, the voters. That vote is on Thursday. You'll be able to follow the results as they come in on Friday, throughout the day on BBC Wales Television, radio and online and S4C. But from tonight, from Blackwood, good night. Thank you.
I'm all set to try and tackle a self-portrait unlike anything I've ever done before.
To paint like Shani Rhys-James, Rolf needs to take a good look at himself.
Gonna need to do a bit of soul-searching.
At his Welsh ancestors.
He wasn't afraid to try out new things, and I think that's something I've got to come to grips with.
And at the artist herself.
You're going to have to loosen up. Just think of yourself as a landscape.
Rolf on Welsh art.
Can you tell what it is yet?
Wednesday at 7:30 on BBC One Wales.
Our 10 top chefs are stepping out of the kitchen and onto the battlefield.
It is putting the fear in me already. I hope they know what's going to hit them, John.
2 teams, 100 hungry athletes.
The Scots are coming!
And only 9 places remain.
They look hungry to me!
I believe that we can do this, unless, of course, I sever a finger.
They're talking a good fight. What they've got to do now is deliver. I can't wait to see how good these 10 can be.
MasterChef, Wednesday at 9 on BBC One. Catch up on BBC iPlayer.
From troops to teachers, can the ex-military restore discipline in our schools? Panorama in 10 minutes on BBC One Wales after Crimewatch Update.
Hello and welcome back. We have had a very good night on the phones and let's hope lots of very useful calls. Let's start with a reminder of our first appeal tonight, the murder of 24-year-old student Sam Gadira just 2 weeks ago.
What the hell are you doing? Get off me!
I knew something had happened. It was so unlike him not to turn up. And I tried to call him. I remember sitting there thinking, please answer your phone, please answer your phone, please just pick up the phone.
Well, the tragedy happened on the 12th of this month, and leading the investigation is DCI Lawrence Smith. This was a 24-year-old man stabbed through the heart. He died from that single injury. How have the calls gone tonight?
Now, we've had a good response, but we need everybody that was on that train that arrived at Penjee Station at 9:41 to contact police.
OK.
They left that station moments before Sam was fatally stabbed in the heart. We need these people. It's crucial they contact police now.
OK, and people can look on our website. They can find out. They might know themselves if they were on the train. If they've forgotten they regularly get the train, look on the website.
Please.
Thanks very much, Lawrence, for now. Matthew, over to you.
Now, the appalling case of great-grandmother Edith Stewart. In October last year, she'd settled down for the night in her care home in Cleveland in Lancashire when someone deliberately set fire to her bed. She suffered 50% burns and died just over a day later. Well, Detective Superintendent Neil Asine from Lancashire Police joins us here. And, Neil, what's come in?
We've had a significant number of calls around other cases that have occurred around the country and give some potential lines of inquiry about how we may go about solving this case.
And what do you still need to know?
What we haven't had is that one person who's rung in who knows what's gone on, who's been taken to somebody's conference and give us the information we need about this appalling case where a 96-year-old grandmother had been burnt to death in her bed. It's an appalling case. She was suffered for 30 hours, 50% burns. Somebody out there knows who's done this, and we need to call us as soon as possible.
As you say, 30 hours she suffered. I mean, it goes without saying her family are desperate for that snippet of information, for somebody to actually come forward with something.
Yes, you've seen tonight. They're a lovely family. They've had their grandmother, their great-grandmother, their mother cruelly taken from them. She suffered the final 30 hours of agonising life. She was 96 years old, would have quite happily got to 100. Please, somebody ring us. Please, somebody tell us.
Neil, good luck. If you have any information, please do call in. Kirsty.
Now, earlier we showed you, I have to say, there were incredibly clear images of this man who is suspected of raping a young woman in the centre of Manchester in October. Do you recognise him?
And because I knew my boyfriend was only a couple of minutes away, I just decided to start running, really. I was excited, I was giddy to see him. Just don't see people the same anymore. Like, I was a really trusting person and would probably, like... but now, you just look at me and I'm always thinking, could it be you, is it you? And it shouldn't have to be like that. Yeah.
Devastating for that young woman. Well, joining me now, Detective Sergeant John Connor, who's heading up the investigation. How did the phones go for you tonight?
We've had a really, really pleasing amount of calls, some really good information coming in.
OK, that's great. There are lots of distinctive things about this attacker. People can look on the website, but there's a woman that you want to trace. Something happened to her earlier the same evening.
I'm still really anxious to trace the first young woman that we saw on the CCTV being followed by who I believe to be our suspect.
Right.
I want to make sure that she's all right. She may also hold vital evidence for us.
OK, it was the early hours of the 31st of October last year. Were you chased? Were you followed by a man in that area? For now, over to Matthew.
Now, on the night of the England versus Slovenia World Cup match in June of last year, a man was attacked after he went to the aid of a fellow passenger on a train in East London.
And then all of a sudden, he rose his hand and he just slapped this man on the face. About 3 times, if I'm not wrong. So he slapped him quite hard on the face 3 times. And in the meantime, still swearing and verbally abusing him. Then I felt something had to be done quite quickly, because that was enough. Enough was enough there at that point.
Well, Detective Constable Sally Everett from British Transport Police is here. It's been a really good night for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've had a fantastic response. At least 15 people have phoned in, and a large number of those are naming the same person, and he lives in the right area.
Well, that sounds like good news. Now, Arjit intervened to help a fellow passenger. You still need that passenger to actually come forward, don't you?
Yes, yes. If he's watching the programme at all, it's an East Asian gentleman, and he probably has got quite a bit more information that would be useful to us.
Sally, good luck with that. Kirsty.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now, Alan Wood was the man, you'll remember, brutally murdered in his own Lincolnshire home 16 months ago. He was subjected to the most terrifying attack imaginable. But detectives hope that new CCTV pictures might now provide a crucial breakthrough.
Where is it?
I think I'm getting over the shock and coming to terms with Alan's death, although it's not easy. I don't think any mother expects to live longer than their children.
Well, DS Stuart Morrison is here. How have the phones been for you?
The phones have been busy. We've had an encouraging number of calls on various subjects, CCTV, EFIT and the Land Rover.
OK, that's good news. The other thing, and it could be, you know, it could be really important, is you came to us today with this new information about the shoe print.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
The Converse footwear, which is either a high-top boot style or a shoe style of trainer, not normally sold direct into the UK.
OK, and people can look on our website for details of those, as you say, not sold in the UK and therefore distinctive. Did somebody you know wear them and suddenly stop wearing them? Did somebody try to get rid of them? Did you find them in a bin? That could all be crucial. We should also tell people that relating to this altogether, there is, how much is the reward?
Total of £60,000.
OK, thank you very much for that. Matthew, over to you now.
Kirsty, great night on the Most Wanted Faces, because a lot of calls for this guy. Firstly, Swaley, Wiltshire, 36 calls, 22 emails. Don't forget he's accused of violent robbery near Boston. A lot of calls also, Anastasios Papas, who's accused of people trafficking. We've had calls with several people and sightings both in the same place. CCTV, quickly, Peterborough armed robbery, that very interesting motorbike. Well, a lot of interesting information on that bike. Great night, Kirsty.
OK, busy. That's everything for now. The phone lines are going to be open until midnight tomorrow night. Let me tell you the number again, 0500 600 600. You can find lots more information. Take a look again on all of tonight's appeals on our website. You know the address is bbc.co.uk/crimewatch. We're going to be back with more cases next month, but for now, thank you for watching. Thank you for your calls. The lines are still open from all of us. Bye-bye.
Panorama introduces the Classroom Warriors next on BBC One Wales.
This is the story of an ancient island, an extinct giant, and a mystery that I've been puzzling over for half my life.
David Attenborough returns to Madagascar to unravel the mysteries of the largest bird in the world. Attenborough and the Giant Egg, Wednesday at 8 on BBC Two.
I want to be slim. I want to have a life. I want to live.
He admits his addiction to food has made him more than twice the man.
The lifestyle that I'd found myself in just wasn't working for me. Finding a way out is hard.
But to be the bigger man, he has to become half the man. From 50 stone to an operation in India that could change his life, can Zach become the man he wants to be? Week in, week out,